This is the Hossport cable to hydraulic conversion kit. From their kit, these are the components that we're going to be concerned with. And that is the slave cylinder adapter bracket, the slave cylinder push rod with end link, and the clutch arm template plate. This is our cable B series transmission we're going to be retrofitting with a slave cylinder. Using the Hossport conversion kit, it comes with a template plate here that gives you the exact coordinates on where to drill your hole for the slave cylinder rod end link. I put some glue behind this template here so that it would attach it so that I can use the drill point. Drilling the hole for this slave cylinder end link you can certainly do in the car. In this case, the transmission was out of the vehicle and we could pull the clutch arm out of the transmission and we set it in a vise. Here I'll begin to drill the pilot hole using the template. There is a marked X and that's where you begin. I used the template to strike a pilot divot using a punch. Once the punch was made, I was able to remove the template and then begin drilling, as you can see here. The steel is pretty hard, so just take your time and go slow with your drill bit. And if you'd like to add some drill lubrication, you certainly can. But it is hardened steel, so just take your time and use a sharp drill bit. With the clutch arm removed, you can see the hardware that we're going to be concerned with for the next step, which is the slave adapter. We're going to be using these two bolts here, and that's where it's going to be mounted. Now you can see we got these fancy Allen head bolts style in here, so we're going to be removing those. Once these are removed, the kit does come with its own hardware, but we're going to reuse these because well, we want it to be uniformed with the rest of the bolts that we got on this transmission. This transmission actually isn't functional. It's just going to be a display model that's going to be traveling with us along with Jarvis. If you're unfamiliar with Jarvis, Jarvis is our fully functional simulator which displays the products that we have, and also it's a fully functional simulator as well. You could actually test this stuff on your own, and this is going to be one that we're going to add that in addition to that with a full hydraulic system. But as you can see, as we're adding here, adding the bolts, you can start to see how this is going to work. The clutch arm is out, and that's just better so that you can see what we're going to be working with here. We're going to add the clutch arm next. Alright, we were able to drill through both sides of our clutch arm here, as you can see. Now we can begin adding the slave hardware. It's a total of 6 washers, 1 bolt, nut, and a rod length. Here's the bolt washer on the end as it goes through. We have two thick washers. The 2 thick washers are going to go on the outside of the clutch arm or end link. It's added. We're going to add the 2 thinner washers to the transmission side as the bolt goes through, as it goes all the way through. Then we'll be adding the last washer and lock nut to the transmission side. Tighten this up and then we can begin to add this to our transmission. Now you can start to see it formulate how it's going to work over here. We slide it in. Our slave cylinder is going to be attached to the slave adapter bracket here. That slave cylinder is just going to push the rod length end of the clutch arm like so. With this kit, you can actually use any slave cylinder from a B or D series hydraulic Honda transmission. This one we actually sourced from AutoZone. Pretty simple, cheap, inexpensive unit. This thing was $12, I believe, after taxes, brand new, and of course you get a lifetime warranty. If it ever leaks on you, just bring it back. But we're just going to show you the quick disassembly of it. We're just going to remove this boot and then the push rod. Very simple. That's basically all that holds the rod on is the boot itself. We're going to keep the boot off just so you can see what's going on here. We're going to be using the Hossport hardware. going to show you how to attach it. We're going to do it with the bleed screw to the outside of the bracket. We're going to do the bottom screw with the washer first. This bracket actually is tapped, so you'll just be able to screw this right in there. There's going to be no nuts. We're going to keep this loose so that we can have the slave cylinder move in this direction here, and I'll show you why. Once we start adding the clutch arm, we'll just slide the clutch arm in. We're going to have to be able to get the Hosport adapter piece here inside the slave cylinder, and as it goes in, you just couldn't bolt this all the way on and then get this arm along with the rod in at the same time. So that's basically how you're going to have to do it. Then add the other nut and washer, or the other bolt and washer, to the other side, and that's pretty much it. This is the end of it. So if you have a cable transmission and you want to keep your cable transmission, but you hate the cable and all the problems with it, then this is one option that we've been able to figure out. You can retain your transmission. Say if you have an Acura Integra, like a DA style, and you want to get rid of the clutch cable, but you still want to go hydro, this is one way. We have a few customers out there using this. This is actually a first install video showing you how it's going to work. Hosport actually initially designed this to work in an EG. It was their budget build. You could put like a cable B-series transmission in your EG. But that's not the case anymore. No one wants cable transmission. Everyone wants to go hydro. But some people are diehard cable guys, cable transmissions like the YS1 transmissions. And this is one way to retain that transmission, but still upgrade to the hydraulic system, as you can see here. And it's a pretty trick piece, if I do say so myself.